Have you ever had one of those days where everything seems to collapse at once? The job you thought was secure disappears overnight. The relationship you invested years into crumbles in a single conversation. The future you thought was certain suddenly feels like fog. In those moments, most people collapse emotionally. They panic, lash out, or sink into despair. But here's a tough truth. Life isn't unfair because it challenges you. Life is unfair when you never prepared for the challenge in the first place. And that's exactly where Stoic philosophy steps in. The Stoics, thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, didn't live in cushioned comfort. They lived through exile, war, betrayal, financial ruin, and even slavery. And yet they discovered something revolutionary. Emotional control is not about the world being kind to you, it's about you becoming unshakable within yourself. This isn't just abstract philosophy. It's a set of practical strategies you can apply today, before the next storm hits, before the next betrayal burns, before the next loss cuts deep. In this video, I'll share 5 Stoic insights that can immediately transform how you handle adversity. But here's the catch. I'm not here to repeat cliches like, just stay strong. I'll give you ancient wisdom, yes, but I'll also give you modern strategies, personal stories, and brutally honest truths about why most of us remain soft, fragile, and emotionally breakable. If you watch until the end, you'll walk away with a mental toolkit that can help you not just endure life's blows, but use them to sharpen yourself into someone truly unshakable. So let's dive in. And remember, the soft break under pressure, the strong, they grow sharper. Insight 1. Comfort is the silent enemy. The first Stoic insight is deceptively simple. Comfort is a trap. Our modern world glorifies comfort. We work to afford convenience. We buy gadgets to make life smoother. We fill our homes with soft chairs, endless entertainment, and quick dopamine fixes. And at first, comfort feels like victory. You earned it, right? You deserve ease. But what if I told you comfort is quietly stealing your strength? The Stoic view Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest philosophers, often practiced living as if he were poor, wearing rough clothes, eating cheap meals, sleeping on the ground. Why? Because he understood that comfort builds dependency, while discomfort builds resilience. He wasn't punishing himself, he was preparing himself. Marcus Aurelius echoed the same truth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He knew that if you only live in ease, the first storm will destroy you. Modern translation. Think of muscles. If you never stress them, they atrophy. A life filled with nothing but ease is like a muscle that's never trained. It looks fine until you need it and then it fails. The same applies emotionally. If you avoid difficult conversations, refuse to confront personal fears, and constantly choose the easy option, you're training your mind to stay fragile. Then one real blow, a rejection, a failure, a betrayal shatters you. Personal reflection. I once mentored a student who was terrified of public speaking. For years, he avoided every chance to practice. He told himself, I'll speak up when I'm ready. But that day never came. His comfort zone became his cage. When life finally forced him onto a stage, his fear crushed him. Contrast that with another student who deliberately chose discomfort. She spoke at every opportunity, even when she trembled. Each time, she suffered a little, but each time, she grew. Today, she's a confident speaker who thrives in high-pressure environments. That's the Stoic principle at work. Discomfort by choice builds resilience for discomfort by chance. Practical application. Once a week, deny yourself a comfort you take for granted. Skip the elevator, sleep on the floor, fast for a day. Each day, do one thing that scares you, a difficult email, a confrontation you've been avoiding, a skill that intimidates you. When life feels too easy, remind yourself, ease is a false friend, resistance is the true teacher. By leaning into discomfort, you don't become miserable, you become ready. The soft crumble when hardship arrives, the prepared adapt, grow, and thrive. Insight 2. Perseverance as virtue, not stubbornness. The second Stoic insight, perseverance is not blind grit, it is virtue in action. We often misunderstand perseverance. People equate it with never giving up, but Stoicism makes a subtle distinction. Perseverance is not clinging to a goal at all costs, but staying true to your chosen path, through storms, through setbacks, and through uncertainty. The Stoic view, Epictetus, who lived as a slave before becoming a great teacher, taught that perseverance was not about external success, but internal integrity. To persevere meant to hold fast to your principles even when the world tempts you to abandon them. Imagine a tree in winter. It doesn't fight the snow, it doesn't rage at the cold, it simply stays rooted, waiting, surviving, and growing when spring returns. That's perseverance, not resistance against reality, but alignment with deeper purpose. The problem with modern grit. Modern culture glorifies hustle. Push harder, work longer, never stop. But blind hustle often burns people out. They persevere toward outcomes that don't align with their values, chasing money while losing health back, pursuing recognition while sacrificing integrity. That's not Stoic perseverance. That's stubbornness disguised as strength. Stoic perseverance is smarter. It asks, is this path aligned with my values? Does continuing build my character even if success never comes? If the answer is yes, then you persevere, not for the prize, but for the person you become. Personal reflection. I once chased a career goal relentlessly. I worked nights, skipped family gatherings, and sacrificed my health. I told myself I was persevering, but when I finally achieved the milestone, I felt hollow. Why? Because I had persevered on the wrong path, a path driven by ego, not purpose. Later, I shifted to work aligned with my values, teaching, creating, serving others. The challenges were brutal: rejection, failure, financial strain. But each setback deepened my resilience. That's when I learned perseverance is not about never stopping, it's about never betraying your values. Practical application. Define your values clearly, write them down. Ask, if all success vanished tomorrow, would I still walk this path? Redefine setbacks as training. If you lose money, you've gained wisdom. If you fail, you've practiced resilience. Balance perseverance with reflection. Don't keep banging on a locked door. Instead, ask, is there another door aligned with my values? The Stoic lesson. Life will not reward stubbornness, but it will reward virtue-driven perseverance. The Stoics remind us success is fleeting, reputation fades, wealth evaporates, but character endures. To persevere is to build that character, not when it's easy, but precisely when it's hardest. Insight 3. Inner strength is a daily choice. The third Stoic insight, inner strength is not inherited, it is chosen. Daily. We often admire people who appear unshakable, the calm leader in crisis, the friend who never loses dignity under attack. We assume they were born strong, but Stoicism says otherwise. Strength is forged, not gifted. The Stoic view, Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This principle is radical. It means your power doesn't lie in controlling others, fixing the economy, or predicting fate. Your power lies in mastering your own judgments, choices, and reactions. That's inner strength. Strength is a series of small choices. Think of strength as a muscle. Every choice either trains it or weakens it. When you choose patience instead of anger, you strengthen it. When you choose integrity over convenience, you strengthen it. When you choose courage over avoidance, you strengthen it. One choice alone seems trivial, but over time, these choices accumulate into an identity, someone who does not shatter under pressure. Why we struggle. The modern world tricks us into thinking strength is external: wealth, physique, influence. But external strength collapses if internal strength is absent. A millionaire panics when markets crash. A bodybuilder breaks down when insulted. True strength isn't how much you can lift, it's how much you can carry emotionally without breaking. Personal reflection. I once thought I was strong because I could handle long hours and stress at work. But the moment someone betrayed me professionally, I spiraled emotionally. That's when I realized external toughness means nothing without internal control. I began practicing Stoic reflection. Each night I asked, where did I lose control today? Where did I stay composed? This wasn't self-criticism, but self-awareness. Slowly, I noticed patterns. I learned to anticipate my emotional triggers. Insight 4. The obstacle is the way. If there's one Stoic phrase that has echoed across centuries, it's this: the obstacle is the way. At first glance, it sounds paradoxical. We usually see obstacles as detours, interruptions, or roadblocks. The Stoics saw them differently. They believed obstacles are not just something to endure, but something to use. The Stoic view, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This was not poetic exaggeration. As emperor, Marcus faced endless crises, plagues, wars, betrayals. He could have cursed fate. Instead, he treated each challenge as raw material to strengthen himself. Epictetus echoed this when he taught that difficulties reveal who we truly are. Just as fire tests gold, obstacles test character. Without them, we never discover our depth. Modern translation. Imagine training in a gym with no resistance. You lift air, not weights. Would your muscles grow? Of course not. Resistance is not the enemy, it is the essential ingredient. Life works the same way. Obstacles are life's weights. They resist you, frustrate you, exhaust you, but they also shape you. The problem is most people waste energy fighting the reality of the obstacle. They whine, complain, or collapse emotionally. But what if instead you asked, how can I use this? What strength can I build from this? Examples. Failure at work can become training in humility, adaptability, or innovation. Betrayal in relationships can become training in discernment and self-respect. Financial hardship can become training in creativity, discipline, and resilience. Every obstacle has a lesson. The bigger the obstacle, the bigger the opportunity. Personal reflection. I once lost a major professional opportunity I had invested years preparing for. At first, I spiraled into anger and self-pity, but with time and stoic reflection, I asked a different question. What is this teaching me? That setback forced me to reinvent myself. It pushed me to develop skills I had ignored. It exposed weaknesses I had hidden. Looking back, I realized the loss wasn't a detour. It was the path. Without it, I wouldn't be who I am today. Practical application. Reframe obstacles immediately. When something goes wrong, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this training me for? Write the benefit. Each time you face resistance, write one specific way it could strengthen you. Act, don't freeze. Obstacles invite creativity. If one door closes, try another. If the path is blocked, climb over it, go around it, or build a new path. The Stoic lesson. The soft see obstacles as punishment. The strong see obstacles as training. The Stoics remind us the obstacle isn't in the way, it is the way. Insight 5. Master your perception, master your emotions. The final Stoic insight is perhaps the most radical. Events themselves don't disturb us. Our judgments about them do. The Stoic view Epictetus taught this relentlessly. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. This means external events, loss, insult, failure, are neutral. They carry no built-in meaning. What gives them sting is our interpretation. If someone calls you a fool, that's just sound waves. The insult only hurts if you agree or if you interpret it as proof of disrespect. If you lose money, that's just a number changing in a system. The despair comes from the story you attach to it. I'm ruined. I'll never recover. In other words, your suffering is not from reality, but from your perception of reality. Modern translation. Think of perception as the lens through which you view the world. If your lens is cracked with fear, ego, and insecurity, everything looks threatening. If your lens is trained by stoic clarity, the same world looks manageable, even empowering. Examples. A rainy day can be seen as miserable, or as an invitation to slow down, reflect, or read. Losing a job can be seen as catastrophe, or as the chance to pursue long-avoided dreams. Criticism can be seen as attack, or as free feedback to improve. Nothing changed in reality. Only perception shifted. Why this is hard. We're conditioned to let emotions dominate. Our culture praises reactivity, venting online, lashing out, dramatizing every setback. But reactivity makes us slaves to perception instead of masters of it. The Stoic task is harder but more freeing, to pause, examine, and reframe before reacting. Personal reflection. When I first studied Stoicism, this principle seemed impossible. Could I really control my emotions just by reframing perception? But then I tested it. During a heated conflict, instead of reacting to the insult, I paused. I reminded myself, these are just words. The meaning I give them is mine to choose. Immediately, the anger dissolved. I realized I didn't need to defend ego. I only needed to act with integrity. That moment changed everything. From then on, I began training my perception daily, catching myself before spirals, reframing challenges, asking, is this really bad or just uncomfortable? Over time, emotional control became less of a battle, more of a reflex. Practical application. Pause and label. When emotion rises, pause. Label the event neutrally. Instead of, this is a disaster, say, this is a change. Reframe questions. Ask, what else could this mean? How can this serve me? Detach ego. Remind yourself, an insult doesn't define you, a failure doesn't destroy you, a loss doesn't reduce your worth. The Stoic lesson. When you master perception, you master your emotions. You stop being a puppet to circumstances. You become sovereign over your mind, and in that sovereignty lies ultimate freedom. Conclusion. from softness to strength. We've now completed the full Stoic toolkit for emotional control. Let's recap. Comfort is the silent enemy. Embrace discomfort to build resilience. Perseverance is virtue, not stubbornness. Stay rooted in values, not outcomes. Inner strength is a daily choice. Strength is built, not inherited. The obstacle is the way. Use resistance as raw material for growth. Master perception, master emotions. Events are neutral, meaning is your choice. Together, these 5 truths form a radical shift in how you face life. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop clinging to comfort. You stop reacting like a victim. Instead, you begin training like a warrior, not against others, but against your own softness. Here's the reality. Storms will come. Loss will come. Betrayal will come. That's not pessimism, it's life. But when they do, you'll no longer crumble. You'll no longer spiral. You'll no longer surrender control. You'll stand firm, not because the world is kind, but because you are unshakable. That's Stoicism. That's strength. That's the end of being soft. So the question is, will you keep choosing comfort, or will you start training for resilience? The answer is yours.